All right, guys, welcome back once again to EDH Upkeep. It's been a while. We're working on some things here, some content, but today we wanted to bring to you guys, as you guys have probably seen by now, at least the art, images, and whatnot for Kaldheim. The new Viking set coming out, I think late January, early February is when it's set for release or pre-release and release.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, man, but Vikings, I am excited.
That is definitely more up your alley.
Absolutely.
The spoilers do look really, really, really freaking awesome,
Yeah.
especially like the fat packs and the boxes. We just wanted to make a quick little episode discussing what we're looking forward to as far as what we're going to see in the plane, what walkers we're going to see, if we're going to see any Norse gods.
Hopefully so.
And discuss a little bit about the box itself, because there are some, I want to say spoilers?
Spoilers are like little hidden Easter eggs that they may be hinting at.
Just a little thing.
It'd be interesting for sure. But let's go ahead and hop into the booster box, or the special pack box.
Yeah.
So if you guys haven't seen it, I'll go ahead and put an image up on screen for you guys now. All right, and if you haven't seen it, go ahead and kind of explain it to the guys here on the audio that listen to the podcast. So pretty much what it is it shows what looks like a hand holding Mjolnir or Thor's hammer.
Mjolnir.
I'm sure it's not going to be Mjolnir in Magic together.
Of course.
They'll change it.
A reference to it.
Yeah. But it's cool because it's all on lightning and whatnot. And but I didn't notice it at first until somebody had mentioned it. And I was like, you know what? That is there. But there's a couple images of like smiling-ish, demonish dragon faces, and somebody had mentioned it looks very eerily similar to Nicol Bolas.
Ooh.
And when you look at it, it looks pretty close to Nicol Bolas' smile.
Wow.
Now the weird part is this is in a completely different planes. I think last time we saw Nicol Bolas was War of the Spark, when he had a spark taken and Ugin took him to the prison realm area.
Yep.
So we know he's in prison. He's stuck there, or is he? I mean, it may not even be Nicol Bolas. It may be looking way too far into this. It may just be some weird spiritual demon thing. But
But even as Nick mentioned, even on the ships, on the long ships itself, on the picture,
on the packs,
you could see on the what's it called, the bow.
You can see the front of the ship.
Yeah.
And as you guys know, Viking ships, they always had some kind of awesome image or sculpture up at the front. Sometimes a dragon head, sometimes a bear head, an elk head. Usually some kind of elk with antlers is usually what you normally see in pictures.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it has a picture of what looks like Nicol Bolas or even Ugin maybe.
Yeah.
And off in the distance in the clouds in that same picture, you can see a dragon with a very long whippy tail that looks very similar to Bolas or Ugin.
Yeah.
So we see Ugin, aka Odin the Allfather. I mean, I don't know. I'm interested. They have. The more I look at these pictures, at first I was just kind of like, man, I am not excited at all, and I love Viking stuff. One of the things that kind of threw me off was from the Fat Pack. We're gonna go ahead and put images on for you guys that are watching too on YouTube. But for the Fat Pack image, not a big fan of this Planeswalker, but Kaya. Also, she has some really weird purple-looking battle axes, which I'm pretty positive, much like what's the one of the Greek gods?
Theros.
Theros. It's probably going to be very enchantment heavy.
Yeah. Equipment and enchantment
heavy. I'm pretty positive here in that one, which I'm okay with. I'm not negative on enchantments and equipments. I do like them. I was kind of thrown off by Kaya. I'm kind of curious to figure out why she's there to begin with.
I feel like we have a little group chat, of course, with this, and we were speaking about this actually earlier today. I think it was Joe that mentioned this.
Maybe.
I think it was Joe, his brother. He mentioned that in the last part of the War of the Spark story, I believe, Kaya fled and planeswalked away to chase after Angrath.
Yeah, the Minotaur.
The Minotaur pirate. And they never said where Angrath is from. He's just a Minotaur planeswalker that just happened to be on Ixalan. This might be where his home is, and that I know it was confirmed that Angrath is going to be in the set.
Yeah, according to the wiki, the planeswalkers that are currently on Kaldheim are Kaya, Angrath, Chandra, and what the hell is his name? Man, Ramox or Ramos or something like that.
Something like that.
Let me pull it up real quick. I'll just keep talking real quick.
Yeah, so it's going to be really, really cool, the fact that we're finally going to see Angrath's actual home plane On top of seeing why Kaya is there, is she there to follow him and assassinate him to take revenge? Where the story is going to lead up to now, there might be some speculation. What?
Ramaz.
Ramaz. I don't even know who that is.
So cool part about him. Keep talking about your point. I'll go ahead and mention him.
No, just hoping that. Hoping to see a really cool story unfold from this. Maybe because Kaya planeswalked to chase Angrath back to his home plane. What's his face? Nicobolas might have broken out of the prison realm, because I know Ugin was guarding him, right?
Yeah, Ugin is in the prison realm with him. Essentially, they're in prison together. Mm-hmm. And what Ugin told Nicobolas is he stripped him of all of his names. Okay. And then he told him, we're going to stay in here until you die, which, according to their lifespan, could be thousands of years from now. So maybe he might have set a backup plan, kind of like what he did with the Amonkhet, where he was the god. Yeah. Maybe he went to this plane, made himself a god, and then kind of as a backup plan. I know that he was stripped of all of his sparks, including his own personal spark, because he had. That's what his War of the Spark. He
was stealing
obtained sparks.
Yeah.
So I know he had all of his sparks, including his own, stripped from him. So he's essentially like when Ugin teleported him to that prison realm, he had to shield him in his wings to keep him alive, because that planeswalking would have killed Nicobolas. Ooh. So yeah, the only way I could see Nicobolas getting out is somehow melding together with Ugin and becoming an All Dragon, which
actually yeah.
Yeah. So
because Ugin is he's practically a ghost.
Yeah, I mean they're brothers. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, he's a
they're
spirit dragon.
Twins. Yeah. There could have been something. Oh man.
It's
talk about family drama.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
What happens.
But yeah, so Ramaz, cool story about him. Me, huge Eldrazi fan, as you know.
Of course.
If you guys don't, you will. But so Ramaz is actually the planeswalker that tricked Chandra into going to Zendikar to find that the relic in the cave. To open the seal to release the Eldrazi.
Oh,
so
shit.
It'd be really interesting to see, because why is Chandra there, right?
Right.
We know why Kaya and Angrath are possibly there. Mm-hmm. Why is Chandra, right? Is she going back to get revenge on him for his thing, or is she going back because maybe they're in cahoots? Maybe. Who knows, But we do know that there's an Eldrazi stuck on Innistrad, and one that sets later in the year is going to be Innistrad. So not get my hopes up just yet, but I would like to see Eldrazi at some point this year, 2021. We'll go ahead and say that.
What's kind of getting me thinking though is that we've had so many artifact-based heavy sets come out, and it's like to have Kaldheim, or however you pronounce it, Kaldheim, come out and have it be artifact heavy with like equipment. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I feel like that's
another thing too. Is like, I think it's gonna be enchantment heavy, but there's lore for one of the mountainsides in Kaldheim where it's so cold there that it strips people of spells and enchantments.
Where it's just straight vanilla.
Yeah, and there's like a clan that lives in there, and they're like raiders, or I think they call them brutes or something like that. But they're like the only people that live in that region of that plains. Yeah. So I mean, it'd be really interesting to see how that works. Maybe we'll have some creatures that can like strip enchantments, or something like that.
That'd actually be pretty cool.
Counter spells like on a creature card.
Yeah.
Be kind of broken if you guys me. But
or maybe like enchantments that while this enchantment is out, you can't cast artifacts or something like that.
Yeah, something along those lines. One thing I'm hoping they bring back is gonna be it's really dumb, but I'm hoping they do it. Snow-covered lands.
Oh, with it being that's not dumb at all. Actually, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, with it being Kaldheim, with it being a Viking snowy, you get that whole when you think of Vikings, you think of snowy wilderness and stuff like that. So hopefully they bring. I'm hoping they bring snow-covered lands back, but I think would be a pretty cool aesthetic to the
that'd be pretty cool. Or like snow-covered, full art snow-covered lands.
Yeah, exactly.
Full art.
And then like knowing, again, I'm a huge Viking fan, so knowing like a little bit about Viking history is they were really huge into like sacrificing to their gods. So I'm sure there's going to be some kind of sacrifice effects or outlets in the set. I'm hoping there's a new mechanic built around sacrificing, which I think will make means for a pretty cool deck structure.
Yeah. No, I mean, even
I know you got not Nicol Bolas, but what's one Joe had? Korvold. He was a sack-based, deck, but I'm hoping there's like a mechanic that is like made and built for sacking and help that deck just run even faster, smoother.
Right. Well, I mean, with all the boosts to what are they called? Not diplomatic decks. What are they called?
Talking about the drafts?
No. like
The vote?
No, the deck, like decks that you sacrifice. Joe had a word for it. Aristocrat.
Yeah.
There's been a really big boost to aristocrat decks
There
lately,
has, yeah.
so I feel like this might be that where it's sacrifice this, give your creatures, I don't know, +5/+5 or something.
That's been my...
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I mean, Viking or Berserks, where it's like you give them a certain amount of power, and then they die at the end of the turn or at the end of the fight or something.
I'd be surprised. I'd really be surprised if Riot wasn't something that was brought back.
That's
as
what
an old thing. Yeah, I think they come in and you can either give them haste or a +1/+1. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be really
Viking
awesome.
Raiders, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm super excited. Somebody said something about there being the vehicles or the crew mechanic back in here, but in my mind, again, loving Vikings and Viking lore, the only things that they had that were vehicles were sleds, ships, and like horse-drawn carriages. Now again, this is a mystical and magical world.
What if horsemanship comes back?
That would be cool-ish. I wouldn't be too much of a fan of it. No, just because I mean, when Vikings raided, they didn't really ride horses, nor were horses really bred in their region. They would go and pillage, and they would bring some of those horses back.
Right.
And then eventually, as they progressed on as a culture, they used horses for plowing and stuff like that. But it wasn't really something that Vikings did. They had more of they went and hunted wolves and bears. They had their sheeps and whatnot.
Yeah.
That was more of their thing. Birds and dogs. Horses weren't really a
big thing.
A big thing, yeah.
The one thing that I'm excited about, and it kind of goes into the next topic, are the gods, the Norse gods.
So, I don't think if Magic doesn't put them in there, they're missing it, and they're going to throw a lot of people off.
Of course.
People like me mainly.
Yeah. That
play this game. They're coming out with the Viking set. I love Vikings. It might be too soon because we just had the one with the Greek gods. I keep forgetting Theros. I keep forgetting the name of it. We just had Theros, so it might be too soon for new gods. Plus, we got the Egyptian gods. But I mean, you cannot have a Viking planes
without the Norse gods.
Without some kind of Norse god style of card.
Yeah.
Whether they're enchantment creatures or they're just creatures that come down, they're big. 8 drops for some magical dude that comes out and does a lot of really cool things. I wouldn't say obviously don't make them overbroken, but make them cool.
No, what would be cool? I actually kind of think about this or thought about this because in Norse mythology, Odin is an eagle, right?
He can turn into an eagle.
He can turn into an eagle.
No, a raven.
A raven.
Yeah.
So what if they bring the flip mechanic back, where it's like a raven, you pay a hefty cost, and then Odin comes into play?
I mean, I would not be against flip mechanic stuff. I love flip mechanics. I think it like Megamorph and Morph.
Yeah.
I think it the werewolves from way back when. Innistrad, yeah. I'm a huge fan of that. They just did it in Zendikar with lands, or it's a card or a land card. Yeah. So I mean, I'm for it. If it works, I am for it. But yeah, I mean, it'd be pretty cool too. Like if they did bring back snow-covered lands. Like if you you play this Raven, this 2/2 Raven card.
Yeah.
And then if you control, I don't know, one of each snow-covered land, and you fucking tap a Wooburg. You flip it and it becomes
a god or something.
Odin's son or whatever.
Yeah. I know we are going to get a new Planeswalker, and that's for sure. Yeah. It's a new Planeswalker, but it's new, but it's not new. It's never been on a card. It's a Planeswalker that was actually on a Magic the Gathering game. It was I think it was on PlayStation 1. I think like super old, but it was Chandra fights him. They plane chase each other, and she actually ends up fighting him, and he says that he's from a plane that nobody knows about. It's very snowy.
Is it Ramaz or is that?
I don't know the name.
No,
I don't know the name, but it's
'Cause I don't think Ramaz has been a planeswalker that's.
I read about it where it was he was a planeswalker that Chandra fought, and they were plane chasing each other.
Yeah, I know there's been a couple of things that. Sorry, I just kicked the table. Yeah. There's been a couple things here that I know have been announced. Again, this is on Wiki, so take it with a grain of salt. The 4 planeswalkers that were announced that to be on the planes currently are again Chandra, Kaya, Ramaz, and Angrath. Is that how you say it? Angrath?
Angrath.
Yeah. And then there are 2 gods in that realm. One of them looks kind of like a Thor kind of like character. I forget his name. And then there's another one that's kind of like a Valkyrie. So I mean, and again with Valkyries, if you're an Angel player, I'm pretty positive there's going to be Angels / Valkyries in this set. I mean, it kind of has to be Viking lore. I'd like to see something that has to do with like graveyard recursion, but in a different way because of Valhalla.
Right.
It's like when the creatures die. I mean, I guess it's already a mechanic. Like when the creatures die, they return back to the battlefield and they can be stronger or some shit like that.
So the Undying mechanic, maybe.
Yeah, kind of like Undying, but maybe change it to where like it doesn't cost as much, or you don't have to really pay for anything, or maybe sacrifice a creature and return a creature from your graveyard.
Right. That's
out there for like one turn and it goes back, or it dies, or it's exiled at the end of the next phase, or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you got the Seers too. The Seers were people that Vikings would go to and they would tell them their future. So they're you could obviously like use something like that to look into your opponent's hand to know the future,
I get what
or
you're
look
saying.
at your opponent's deck or something like that.
Something like that.
There's a lot of
scry your opponent's deck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool, actually.
I mean, there's so many cool things. Like I just think about like Viking lore that they could do with this set that kind of definitely gets my juices flowing. Again, not just because I'm a huge Magic the Gathering fan, but because I'm a huge Viking fan.
Right.
And again, like that's kind of bad for me in a way, or bad for people who love Viking lore so much, because
your expectations are too high.
They're way too high at this point. And again, we just have art that was box art. That was
right.
Really, so I'm already like, I need it, I want it. Right. So.
No, I get what you mean, though, because that's how I felt with Theros. Like I wasn't around when Theros like came into set, but when Joe told me and he got me into Magic, he told me about the gods. I got super excited, and I mean I can't say they were up to my expectations because I didn't, but they were what I guessed. They're very powerful beings that they can't do anything until the devotion is up a certain amount.
Yeah, and I definitely think devotion should be something on these cards or something similar to it. Mm-hmm. Maybe when it comes to their devotion, you have to sacrifice X creatures because the Vikings always made sacrifices to their gods to honor them. So, again, I mean, I'm really interested. I'm super excited. I'm hoping they do a couple things. If they don't, I won't be too upset. But the one thing, they have to do it. If they don't do it, I won't even buy a pack from this set. And that's if they do not have gods in this set, it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
especially for me. I can do without the snow-covered lands. I mean, they kind of already, poked me somewhere where I don't like being poked with the whole Kaya. I don't like Kaya.
Why? Guy's dope. She's an assassin.
I know, but I love Soren.
No, fuck Soren.
Yeah, well, they don't like Soren. Each other. So,
yeah. Kaya's dope.
I mean, and I don't like her art too. Like the art they have for her, she's all like, "Oh, look at my axes, they're purple," and I'm just like, "Come on, man."
Well, because her
whatever.
Her weapons are magical. Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
It's boss.
I'm sure. I'm sure those axes are going to be some kind of enchantment artifact or something.
Or like legendary equipment. Yeah. Legendary equipment.
Whatever, man.
That'd be cool. I don't know. I think that'd be pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, maybe they'll have the effect of a rock where you just tap it and
deal 2 damage to somebody.
Good job, Kai. You did it.
You saved the planes again.
Yeah. But I'm super excited. I mean, and that was she's guaranteed to be in set, because at first I was like, when I first saw a set, like, it's a black chick holding 2 axes, like, oh, it's Kaya.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, it's Kaya. I was like, I hope not. And then, again, on the wiki, you take it with a grain of salt if you want, but it even says, like, in the storyline, Kaya travels to this plains in search of, like, new enchantment or, like, new spells. So, I'm interested.
Definitely. I know as soon as they mentioned Kaldheim?
Kaldheim, yeah.
As soon as they mentioned Kaldheim and the theme it's gonna be on, I was very, very excited. I was super stoked.
We just realized we forgot to do the fake fact of the day or whatever.
That's right.
Yeah, man. I got one.
You're throwing me off, man.
Yeah, I got one for you.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Did you know
that
the Vikings actually had a realm for mead, which was the drink of choice?
That true?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It's called Midgar.
I'm gonna hit you.
For those of you guys don't know, the realm that Earth and humans fall in is called Midgar. So mid, I don't know. I'm being dumb.
That was your fake fact of the day, you guys. Write it down. Don't forget it. You never know when you go to, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and they ask you that question.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I mean, if you don't know about Vikings, read about them, look into them. They're super fascinating, culture of people throughout history in the world.
Yeah, especially for those that have ties to that kind of lineage.
Yeah,
it's awesome. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, and there's huge ties too into like English, the English, because they would always raid. I think it was east.
Yeah.
And they'd always go further east, and then eventually they were like, hey, it's time to go west.
Mm-hmm.
And there was resistance from all sides because everybody was like, no, we know it's in the east, we know it's there.
Mm-hmm.
And they were, I wouldn't say afraid, but they were just reluctant to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then luckily they ended up going west, or I wouldn't say luckily because people died obviously, but
right.
They ended up going west, and they hit up England,
Mm-hmm.
where Christianity was huge.
Yep.
And then Christianity started getting into Viking lore. You see a lot more of it, and that's where you get the whole paganism.
Yeah.
A lot of our holidays today are actually old Viking holidays, just more Christianized. I don't know if you knew that.
No,
That's a real fact.
Yeah. Oh wow, damn,
yeah.
That's your real fact of the day.
Yeah.
That one's the real one.
But yeah, I mean, just the Vikings that travel everywhere. I mean, they the first people to ever find and settle on, I think it was Greenland.
Yep.
Greenland.
I know that one.
Yeah. So I mean, it's really cool stuff, man.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
I love the lore, dude.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
Actual Viking lore, not just magic lore.
Hopefully, I know they have been coming out with books lately with all the new planes out there. Hopefully, they do come out with the book and the story is like.
Speaking of
noise
traveling, I mean, adventure or like voyages, that'd be pretty cool mechanic to bring back with some of these cards.
Adventure? I don't know about adventure.
Well, because I mean, Vikings would go on their pillages and then they'd come back with new riches. So.
Unless I don't know what the mechanic is called, where if you attack, you can place the card from your hand tapped and attacking, but then at the end of the battle, it comes back to your hand.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, they could definitely do something like that. I was thinking more along the lines of having a creature maybe swing or maybe even go on some kind of like adventure.
Mm-hmm.
And then going with equipment, they come back with an equipment attached to them.
That'd actually be pretty cool.
Like for example, let's just suspend the suspend mechanic. You pay, let's just say it's 6, right? Mm-hmm. You pay 6 to suspend this creature, and then at the end of the 6th turn, you can bring a equipment from your deck or your graveyard. Well, I say deck from your library that's like 5 CMC or less, and equip it automatically to that creature. Something like that, like you pay 6 and 6 or whatever, like.
So it's like another tutor for equipment, but
essentially, yeah.
But with a kind of a.
But because they go on their adventures,
cost,
they can cheat out
bigger equipment,
that are automatically equipped to them, which would be pretty cool.
That'd actually be pretty cool. Yeah. Actually, no. So the main point of this is artifacts are gonna get more support.
I'm fairly positive if there aren't artifacts and specifically equipments in this deck in abundance, I'll be shocked.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's gonna be artifacts that are just plain artifacts, non-equipments, but I'm willing to bet this is going to be pretty heavy on equipment and enchantments.
Because if we look back at like Amonkhet had the gods, the Egyptian gods. What did they have? They weren't heavy on equipment.
I wasn't playing back then. I know they had their thing was more if I remember correctly from what I've seen. From a lot of it was like graveyard recursion stuff.
Right, because
like
of the
mummifications.
And then with Theros we had enchantments.
Mm-hmm.
We had auras. We have a lot of auras actually. Yeah. Not so much as
The only reason why I'm speculating enchantments is again going back into lore is they would have like sacrifices or rituals.
Right, to make themselves
exactly
bigger and better for battle.
If they don't have enchantments, it's going to be heavy sorcery, in my opinion. Then if it's not enchantments, it'll be sorceries. But I think it'll be enchantments, mainly like legendary enchantments or like legendary. I wouldn't even be surprised if we had I don't know if we had these before, but like enchantment artifacts. I don't know if that's ever been a thing.
I don't know, actually. I know we have enchantment creatures.
Yeah,
but not artifacts.
Especially because Kaya's holding those purple axes. I mean, those obviously look like enchanted equipment.
Right. That'd actually be pretty cool, like enchanted artifacts where you cannot use them until you meet like a certain.
Maybe they have like a devotion type deal.
Or like if they come out with like Mjolnir,
yeah.
Mjolnir as like a legendary enchanted artifact, where you can't equip it until your
creature's worthy.
Yeah, or something. Yeah, or it's like until your creature's like +8/+8, and your devotion is 7 or something. Or that would actually be pretty cool. Yeah. Shit,
Ascend,
Wizards, if you're listening.
Yeah, we can
help.
Yeah, I can't draw well, but I can come up with ideas.
Yeah, and I look pretty.
Brainstorming.
Someone, yeah.
Yeah, use him for your next cover art model. Yeah. They've all been females recently. What's up with that, man?
Yeah, what's going on?
Huh?
Yeah.
Equality. What's going on?
I've been told I look like Angrat. So what's going on?
Yeah, I think it was Zendikar. What they had? They had what's her nuts?
What's her nuts?
Nissa. Wasn't she on
Nissa.
the arts?
No, it was Jace. Jace was the
Okay. So okay.
It was Jace.
Because I know her Ikoria was Vivian, right?
Vivian, yeah.
And
She
then
was
so I
Vivian.
guess then Zendikar was Jace. Okay, so they got away with a guy there.
So now this time's
'Cause
gonna be
then-
Kaya.
Yeah, Kaya.
Oh, we're watching you,
Yeah.
Wizards.
Well, I mean, even for Commander players, you had Commander Legends, which has Jessica on it,
Oh, that's right.
and then what did Dome Matches have on it? It was a female.
That's right. It was the angel.
Yeah.
Jesus.
What the hell's her name? The one
I
that brings
don't
out
know.
angels
Can't-
and dragons and demons.
I have her card too.
Red, black, and
Yeah,
white,
red,
I
black,
guess.
and white. Yeah.
We know who it is.
Yeah,
just
we
don't
know who it
remember
is.
the
Let's
name.
just cut us some slack. We know who it is. Just can't think of the names. Too many.
Yeah, there's so many cards. Help me.
We're not Jimmy and Josh. We don't know everything.
No, not nearly as cool or sexy.
Not sponsored.
Looking
by
at you,
one.
Jimmy. But yeah, we have any shout outs before we cut this thing?
Definitely shout out to our sponsors, of course. We cannot thank them enough. Power 9 Games, they're our LGS here in Las Vegas. They do delivery all across the U.S. Shipping all across the U.S. Let me just change that word. Shipping all across the U.S. Cannot thank them enough for all their love and support. They have helped us. Because of them, we're able to make these awesome videos for you guys. You need some stuff? Power9games.com. They'll ship it to you fast.
Yeah, they also have a pretty cool thing, a feature on their website where you can essentially build a deck before you go and purchase it. So if you have the deck list in mind, if you did your homework like I do, and you go to EDH Rec and you write down what you want. Again, EDH Rec not a sponsor, but if you do if you do your homework and you write down your deck list and you go on there, if they have the cards, you put them in your basket and or your shopping cart and check out, and you essentially are one step closer to building your deck.
Yeah. And a big shout out actually to all the Magic players out there in Vegas. If you do live in the Vegas area, let us know if you want to be a part of our Commander games. Record a couple of games with us. Do not feel shy to message us. We always love bringing in new people to play, especially on our TikTok. If you are in Vegas, and I know I've talked to you before, probably. Give us a DM. Shoot us a DM, and we'll set something up. We can play a couple games, record one of them if you're not too camera shy, and who knows? It could be the next one that beats us if you can. I mean,
not likely.
If you can.
What was the name of our TikTok friend, the one that gave us a shout out? Let's give her a shout out.
Oh man, I feel so horrible. I don't remember.
I'm gonna go search for it.
If you guys do have TikTok, I'm actually the one that actually does all the TikToks. It's EDH Upkeep Official. I post really, really dumb TikToks, and her name is. Click on it.
Shay on TikTok.
The names are like weird. It's Eidolon of Blossoms.mtg. Definitely go check her out. Her videos are awesome. On TikTok, her videos are awesome, and she does EDH content just like we do. Funny little skits and shout outs to her LGS and other MTG.
Yeah, and
videos.
Miss Eidolon of Blossoms. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You're the greatest. You rock, as
You told me I was the greatest.
Okay, you are, but she gave us a shout out.
I can give you a shout out. Hey guys, Sonny.
This is Nick,
and we are
EDH Upkeep. See you guys next time.
Laters.